Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is beef filet and caviar crostini. Happy New Year, everyone. We thought today we'd get a little bit fancy, a really great fancy party food. Crostinis are always great, right? So anything served on toasted bread, we're using a toasted baguette today. We're gonna be topping it with a really beautiful Creekstone Farms filet. We're gonna slice that up, put it right there on the crostini, and then top it off with some creme fraiche and some really nice kilo caviar. So we got a couple of fillets here. Again, Creekstone Farms. This is prime stuff. Honestly, really beautifully marbled, especially for a tenderloin. I don't want to do too much to affect the flavor of these, so we're really just going to hit them with some salt and pepper. I'm going to do just a little bit of duck fat on the outside as well. And then this is the Jacobsen Salt Company black garlic salt. So really letting the meat shine in this recipe. So again, just a little bit of duck fat on the outside and that black garlic salt. For that bread portion of the crostini, we're just using a nice crispy baguette. I'm gonna cut it thick enough that we can get the outsides toasted, but it's still got a little bit of chew in the middle. And then we cut it on a bias like this so we create plenty of surface area to fill up with all that wonderful steak. For the steaks, we're doing a sear and a butter baste inside the Yoder YS640S pellet grill. It's running at 500 degrees. Now I do have the griddle in because we've been using that, but the deflector is removed underneath it, so it's getting a lot of heat on it right now. This oil's just heating up, and we're gonna throw the steaks in. Let the pan preheat for about 5 minutes so it's just smoking hot right now. We can get a great sear on there. As soon as the cold meat hits the hot pan, the pan's gonna start to cool down a little bit, and that's when I'm gonna throw in my butter. I've got a clove of garlic that I just crushed and peeled. What we're gonna do now is start basting this. So this garlic flavor is gonna get infused into the butter and the oil, and then we're just gonna baste it right over the top. So you're getting all that garlicky, buttery flavor worked into the meat. All right, let's take a peek. Ooh, sear's looking good. So we're just gonna keep on doing this. I mean, it doesn't have to be constant, but of course, the more you kind of baste it in the butter, the more you're gonna get that flavor onto the steak. We're just gonna cook this to an internal of 120 degrees. So we're hitting about 110 now on these. We could use a little bit more sear. So we're gonna get them out of this oil and directly onto the griddle. So I've completely turned the grill off now. We're just cooking with the residual heat right here on the griddle. That sear's looking really nice. Let's go ahead and pull these off. And we're just gonna toast the baguettes with the residual heat on the griddle. Griddle's cooled down just a little bit now. We're gonna transfer this oil and butter mixture over to the griddle and start throwing down our sliced baguette. Yeah, that residual heat's really all we need to get a little toast on there. While those baguettes finish off, we're gonna put together our Dijon creme fraiche. So a quarter cup of creme fraiche, which is essentially just like really rich sour cream. That's kind of how you can think about it. We've got 1 tablespoon of our Coslic's Dijon, and that is all there is to it. We're just gonna whisk it up, throw it in a piping bag, and we'll be ready to build these crostini as soon as we get the steaks sliced. The steaks have been resting for about 5 minutes now, so we're gonna go ahead and slice into them. And there's a couple different ways that you can present these. You can slice them really thin like this, or you can just dice them and pile on top of that crostini. So here I'm gonna go this way first. So tender it wants to just come apart. Nice pretty pink in the center. Don't forget about those pan juices that were gathered during the resting. Lots of flavor in there. So So we're just gonna put a little dollop of this creme fraiche on the bottom. We'll do a few slices on each. Maybe just a couple on the big ones. And then here's our diced version. So you can see it's just a different presentation. Honestly, like tenderloin is so tender, just like melt in your mouth tender, that how you cut it's not gonna matter a whole lot. You know, with tougher cuts, like we try to make small slices, cut down those meat fibers, muscle fibers. But with these, it's kind of whatever looks best to your eye. Now for the best part, the caviar. Now we're using this kilo caviar today. Really cool boutique caviar house out of Northern California. They raise white sturgeon in the rivers and the deltas and area. And I believe the only eco-certified caviar house in North America. So these are gonna be a little bit salty, but the flavor profile specifically on this select, it's gonna give you some umami, and it's gonna be nice and buttery. Here, before we get into it, let's just do a little bump. Oh, it's pure decadence. You guys gotta go check out Kilo Caviar. They'll ship it to you in 24 hours, and it's incredibly delicious. All right, now for the real bite. My goodness. There is so many flavors going on right now. The beef is beefing as it beefs. Super tender. You've got that really creamy creme fraiche and the bite of the mustard. And then the caviar itself. I mean, I could just eat it with a spoon, but you put it in here and it adds a totally different flavor profile. That umami's there, it's salty. All this creamy goodness, and then the crispy baguette to offset all of it, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. No doubt, you want to make an impression, this is your next bougie appetizer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoyed the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, if there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to you. What do I say there? Let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.